Jarod Hector, BET.com, and I'm here with the host of Showtime Sports' newest podcast, All the Smoke, NBA legends Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson. What's up, y'all?
What's up, my man?
Excited to be here, man. Looking forward to talking to you guys.
Good. Thank you for coming out.
So you two were on the We Believe Warriors. What was it about, and this is for each of you, what was it about him and what was it about him for you that made you guys just feel like, all right, man, this is my dude, I'm riding with him?
I looked at his lips and knew he was a smoker. No, I'm playing.
True.
No, it was someone always playing against him and knowing what kind of competitor he was. And then him coming to our team, I knew he was going to bring something special. And we did kind of have a look at each other, and we both kind of knew that we had similar interests in other space, and it kind of became an instant brotherhood.
Just the vibe. Like I said, we knew each other from playing against each other, but you know guys who you're like, you know what I'm saying? And then when you get to know them, your journeys are like, you know what I'm saying? You have a lot of similarities, and we just hit it off like brothers, and it's been like that since then.
For you two, what was it about now that you figured, all right, time for us to get together and really start this podcast? Do you feel like there are a lot of athletes out there who are in media who sort of kind of sidestep and don't really talk how they want to talk, and you guys are like, nah, we want to give it to you real?
Well, we were already doing our own thing on TV, on ESPN and Fox, and being brothers, we hang out all the time and just having a little session together, and it came up, and well, it'd be cool if we both had our own show because everybody loves our take. You know, we're unfiltered. You know, we say what they want to hear, and it resonated to him. He held on to it, and it made it happen. But I never thought it would be at this point. You know, but shout out to Showtime for making it happen.
Yeah, we just wanted to give, like I said, we were getting so much praise for our takes on these networks, but we kind of almost had to be, fall in line with, with ESPN and Fox. There's a certain protocol, so we kind of wanted to give an unfiltered look at it. And luckily, Showtime found us, and we're here now. So.
And where does that authenticity and realness for the both of you come
born
from?
with it.
Yeah,
just born with it. That's just natural.
Our upbringing, I think, obviously different paths, but similar stories, and we've always been that way, and always been the way we are. And people that grew up with us and knew us can never say something like, "Oh, he changed." That would never been. We've always stuck to our script our whole lives and our way throughout on our journeys and our paths, and I think that's why we're here now.
I think there's a correlation between sort of how you were in the league, right? I mean, you guys weren't the A-stars, right? You had to grind and scrap to stay your way in the league. So is that sort of the same thing? You're like, same out here?
We always had something to prove. I mean, especially in the game of basketball. I think that's what our whole We Believe team was, having something to prove, and I thought that's why we had success. But it was our road, nothing's been given to us. We've had to show we deserve a lot of things, and
or take it.
Yeah, or take it. And where we come from, you are born with that attitude as soon as you come out the womb and see your surroundings. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is.
And so when you're looking at the media landscape, do players ever come and approach you and ever say, or hit you up on text with like, yeah, Stak, you was right about that?
I mean, they can. I remember when I said something about KD, about the fake phone stuff and the fake Twitter stuff, and he reached out to me, but he understood it wasn't a place of hate, and when he heard my side of it without reading it on social media, he understood because I was coming from like a big brother stance, and Matt feels the same way. You KD, you can say whatever you want to anybody you want. You're the best player in the world, and he should feel like that, and he understood that's where I was coming from.
Is it different now, you think, for guys because of the social media age versus when it was, the Jordan era, Magic, Burks? I mean, it ain't like guys are doing anything different now than they weren't doing then. It's just that we didn't know it then.
We didn't see it.
Yeah, no, it's this social media era is just kind of giving us a more in-depth look at our favorite people, and it's all aspects, from music to television to movie to sports. You get more of an in-depth look on who these people are. You know what I mean? So I think it's been somewhat of a distraction sometimes, but a huge benefit. Now you have the chance to tell your own story, tell your own narrative. So if the media is trying to play you a certain way, athletes now have their own platform to say, no, that's not really how it went. This is how it went. And I think that's great, along with branding themselves and earning, more money for themselves down the road.
I feel like media gets it wrong with basketball players a lot.
I'm the ones that looking for clickbait, yeah. Because there's a lot of them that say a lot of stuff for clickbait and not trying to really educate their audience. You know what I mean? It's a big difference. The ones that's trying to educate their audience, they well respected, and I don't think guys look at them at a certain way. You know, just like Doris Burke, for a perfect example. Doris gonna shoot it to you straight, but I've never heard Doris come out with a story assuming something that's because of a relationship she got with somebody. It's always been facts, you know what I'm saying? And so the ones like that we respect, but it's very few. It's very few.
Well, I just think too, I mean, I think Jack and I both had reputations that kind of preceded us, but they thought they knew the person, you know, and the competitor and the person are two different things, you know. So I think some people that take the time to get to know us, you know, and find out who we are, you know, we appreciate that. And then, you know, everyone else who doesn't, you know, we really don't give a shit. But I just think, you know, once you're painted a certain way in the eyes of media, they think that's who you are as a person.
And that's why we're glad we're in the space now, because we can control our own narrative.
And help other athletes control their narrative as well.
And that's kind of the challenge, right? Because the best stories from sports are who you guys are as people. Yeah, we love what you do on the court, but the human element is good. And I think sometimes maybe the media or fans, you see that where they don't grant you the humanity that you're afforded that everyone else gets granted.
Yeah, no, they think, you know, because we are athletes that we're superhuman, or, you know, nothing bothers us, or we don't have feelings, or we don't have families, or we don't go through the same shit everyone else goes through. You know, because you get paid a certain amount of money that you're always just supposed to be a superhuman. And it's unfortunate, it's hard sometimes because we really do go through all the same ups and downs that life throws at us, but we just have to continue to perform.
So to someone who's local here, Brooklyn, Kyrie Irving, he's someone that's all been a lightning rod for the media. Do you see that as a problem for him, where that people want to paint him one way and it's like, Kai's a good dude, it's just that, you know, you guys don't know?
Well, one, he should have known it's gonna be times 10 here coming play in Brooklyn. But two, I understand him too, understanding that, yeah, I will speak when I need to speak for the team or when I need to do something for the organization, but at the same time, I want to come and play basketball. I want to be a basketball player, I want to win games, I want to do my job for this organization without all the other stuff that come with it that I'm really not responsible to do. You know what I mean? It's extra stuff, extra questions that I don't have to answer, and I understand that. But at the same time, a lot comes with being the face of the organization, so I understand both sides of it.
And you guys obviously have the knowledge of, this is very different, right? I mean, a basketball team is a family. It's 15 guys, you got coaches, whatever. So how difficult is it when something's going on in your personal life and you got to come to work, right? Because if something happens to one of us, it's going to affect our work. Mm-hmm. Same thing for you guys. How does that team dynamic play into it when you got to show up and play on court and entertain, and we in a playoff hunt and I got
It ain't easy.
It's tough to stay focused and be able to, you know, separate life from our job, you know, because we're paid to perform and we're a performer. So, and you got to have good brothers to lean on. You know, my situation with Jack when, you know, I lost my mom, or your teammates with the Warriors, and he was at my house every day kicking it with me, talking to me, you know, smoking, trying to get me through it. And it really helped me, you know what I mean? But the outside fan doesn't realize, like, you know, like we touched on the last question, you know, just what it takes day in, day out to be able to mentally be prepared to perform.
So the podcast, All the Smoke, what's your hope with that? What's the long-term vision that you want to put out there that the people see from both of you, but also what the content you create?
All the Smoke is a show that Showtime seeing that is changing the game. One-on-one has never been done before, uncensored, raw, from two NBA champions, people that they know that we don't have an agenda. We're for the people, and anything that's for the people that we need to address as far as the culture, you getting a straight shot. Nothing, no politically correct answers, nothing sugar-coated. We're giving you raw game, and that's what the people want, real live barbershop talk on Showtime.
And he's hoping it launches his rap career.
No, I'm acting now, remember?
Nice.
I'm acting now. He's behind the camera, I'm in front of the camera.
Okay, you got some stuff you working on?
Yeah, I'm doing some stuff behind the camera as far as producing, directing. That's kind of like my next thing. I figured like my face has been on TV enough in my lifetime that people don't need to see me like that no more. So I've taken a passion in kind of being behind and being more of a creator. You know, but Jack can't get enough of the screen time, so he want to have his face all on the TV.
I love that, though. You know, critics of current players now who do that, right, who either want to simultaneously work on their games in their career, but set up what they're going to do post. People who criticize and hate say, oh, they don't care about the game, these guys aren't serious about basketball, but you can be two things at once.
I'm still playing. Like, I'm still playing the big three, you know. Who are these people to say to put someone in a box?
Right.
A rapper can act, and do all. Why can't a basketball player do other things? You know, they want to put us in the box because we make so much money off our initial gift.
They shouldn't be able to make money off more.
Exactly. and who is to say that? You know, if I'm talented, let me explore all my talents.
Yeah.
And everybody should have that right.
I think it's unfortunate because I think LeBron probably gets hit the hardest with it. You know, now playing for the Lakers and then all the off the court stuff he's doing in movies and producing and EPing and all that kind of stuff, and he has a bad game and he's doing this and he's doing too much of that, and that shit is ridiculous, man. You know, to me, once in a lifetime opportunity to do and have the platform that we have, and you got to capitalize on every part of it. You know, as long as you keep your main job first, which you know 99% of these athletes do, I see nothing wrong with capitalizing in other spaces.
Speaking of Bron, what did you guys think when he came out with his statements about Hong Kong and Daryl Morey?
Well, I mean, it's expected. I mean, you can't, like I said, it's a sensitive subject because if he says the wrong thing, then he affects how he provides for his family. Then if he say one thing, then it seems like he don't care about people. You know what I mean? So it was a no-win situation for him. But at the end of the day, I know what he meant. I know where LeBron stands. I know him as a person, and he's always for the people. He just probably spoke on a situation where he wasn't educated on it.
It was just a no-win, you know, to me, for any athlete to speak on that. You know, it was something that athletes were thrust into because of, you know, just a poorly timed tweet.
Yeah.
Not that what Daryl Morey said was wrong, I just think it was poorly timed. And then after that, James was forced to speak, and LeBron ended up speaking, and it was, you know, like I said, what makes this country great is our freedom of speech. What makes the NBA so great is we're a progressive league, and we're on the forefront of social issues and issues with, you know, in the United States. But, you know, this is a foreign situation, and we have to understand that and respect that they do things different, just as they have to understand and respect we do things different, you know. So people don't, with that said, people don't understand the magnitude of LeBron saying anything in that situation because there is so much money between the China market and what the NBA is doing, and then not only in the NBA alone, but what he's doing with his shoes, what he's doing with movies, and people say, well, you shouldn't, you know, you just don't understand how much is going on, and to me, you have to earn as much money as you can while you can, and I think that's, you know, was kind of his focus. And knowing LeBron a little bit, knowing that he is pro people and he loves people, and you know, none of us want to see people get hurt, and we stand behind, you know, situations that are pro people. You know, but like I said, that China situation was just a slippery one, and you know, to me, I just kind of wish none of the current athletes spoke on it just because it was a no-win.
In that moment, I could sense by you talking, you guys felt for them, right? Because Daryl sends this tweet, he wasn't even over there.
Right.
Then James and Russell standing, we apologize, and like, well, we didn't, I don't even know why we're apologizing.
Right.
It seemed that LeBron's point was he was just angry that Daryl even put them in that situation from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, why not jam the microphone in his face and make him explain why he did it? You know, why are you asking James and Russell and LeBron why another man did some shit that he did? You know, to me, so it was never fair from the beginning. And, you know, LeBron took some heat for what he said, but like I said, I think people that know him know he was coming from a real place, and, you know, maybe his delivery may have been a little off, but he knew he was coming from a genuine spot.
So the NBA, as you mentioned, forefront of social justice. In terms of being a league, how do you feel about the way the league is run right now, what Adam's doing, and just the overall health of the game of basketball right now?
As far as social issues like that, the league's A1. You know, they're allowed to speak on certain things and not be penalized. So I think the only thing I don't like about the game is the competition level, but everything else Adam is doing in the game is A1.
Yeah, the only thing I would change is the drug policy for cannabis.
That too. Of
no,
course.
but I think
How did I forget that?
I think the game is in an amazing place. You know, you take this China little blip away, and it's continuing to grow. It's becoming globalized, and you know, these stars are driving revenue through the roof, and guys are getting amazing contracts, and you always love to see, you know, guys in your sport do well. So I think the growth of the game is in a good place. There's not much defense anymore, but you kind of have to understand that goes along with the growth of the game. You know, people want to see when, you know, people's attention span is short. People don't want to watch highlights of defense. People want to watch highlights of slam dunks and 40-foot three-pointers and crazy stuff like that. So, you know, that's what continues to grow the game. So the game's in a great place. I think this China stuff will blow over, and it'll continue to grow.
So about the game, now we're going to talk about basketball. What do you guys think about analytics, and do you think it's ruining the game? But like analytics, like not threes. It's
Right.
it's more nuanced than that, right?
Right.
It's giving up good shots for great shots.
Right.
It's what's higher percentage. How do you feel about the way in which the game is being covered and described now?
Well, analytics, one, never took a charge. Analytics never had a broken bone from or came down on somebody's ankle. Analytics has no experience, but analytics can't help you win the game. Analytics can tell you if a guy goes right or left a certain percentage of the game, and that can help you on defense more than you think. You know, the scouting reports tell you that. So analytics can help, but at the end of the day, you can't bank on that because analytics can't play the game.
Yeah, I think there's a place for it, a small place for it. You know, it's giving people who were never talented enough to actually play the game to actually have a voice in the game now. And like Jack said, there's, you know, strategically there's ways that it helps, but you know, analytics can't measure heart and toughness and clutchness and pressure down the stretch and everything that comes through the human element of the game. You know, so like I said, I think analytics has a place for it, but let's not get away and, you know, let computers completely take over the, you know, the beauty of the game and the purists that can tell a player by watching them and not what the percentages are in shots.
You think it has too much of a voice? Because especially when you look at who talks about analytics and who writes about it, right? It's people who don't look like us, right? By and large.
Right.
And the people who do get an opportunity are often ex-players. So what you're having in a basketball locker room, right, is majority non-black reporters. Do players talk about that? Do you guys notice that? Or you're like, yep, it's just
I
how it
mean, you
goes?
know, while we were playing, we thought it was bullshit, you know, to be honest with you.
Still
like
is to me.
Yeah, because like I said, it gave guys that weren't talented enough to do what we do a voice to kind of control what we do, so to speak. You know what I mean? I think in baseball, analytics is great. You know, it's a one-on-one dynamic between the pitcher and the batter, and you can get analytics that are really going to help you build and set a team. But for basketball, it's, you know, it's been hard to measure. You know, the Houston Rockets are known for analytics, and they haven't won any championships. You know
Daryl's
what I mean?
probably not good at the people
Yeah.
business, is what I,
You know,
this is
so-
what I would say.
That too.
You know, so it's just, like I said, there's a time and place for it, and there's a small place for it in basketball, but, you know, we have to get back to people understanding just who has a real talented eye, because you think about it, you got all these analytic peoples up in the front office now, guys that couldn't play, guys that really don't know the feeling or the vibe of the game, but they're making major decisions on people's careers and paychecks and all that kind of stuff.
Can't get in without a quant background now.
Nah, every time a player in the zone, they can't sit down. Man, analytics didn't tell me he was finna get catch on fire. Analytics they don't do shit for us.
Would you look at the league's policy with fans that came out at the beginning of the season, this idea they're going to be much more strict, much more stringent on the way in which fans interact with players? Have you guys, I mean, of course, there have been incidents, but how do you feel about the way in which the league is handling the way that fans and players interact?
I wish they would have done it in 05.
Is there a specific incident you're talking about?
Yeah, if I wish they would have done it in 05 with the Madison Palace, man. I go back, every time we talk about stuff like this, I go back and look, and nobody looks at how bad we was treated doing that.
You
know?
threw a beer onto the, I mean, that's just,
But not even that. When I got up to the stands with Ron, before I hit the guy threw another beer in Ron's face. But we're gonna highlight it all on the doc. But I'm glad they, you know, put more fault on the fan now. You know what I'm saying? Because even with the Warriors, that's my family. But it was an owner that pushed Kyle out. That's way too far. Kyle pushed him. It's blown out. He's suspended. They lose the finals. So you know, I'm glad they understand that it's not just us. We at work.
Right.
You know what I mean? And 9 out of 10 times if an incident happened with a fan, the fan had to initiate it.
Yeah, no, I think it's important to understand that people think because they buy a ticket, they can say and do whatever. It gives them the free reins to say what they want to us, to cuss at us, to disrespect us. I'm all for a great fan and an amazing fan base and cheer and boo us if we're the opposing team. But, you know, some fans are over the line, you know, with the stuff they say and with the stuff
Family,
they do,
kids.
right? And have to understand, like I said, we are still human, you know what I mean? So just because you buy the ticket doesn't mean you can say racial slurs like they were doing in Utah. Or, you know, talk about our fans and do all this crazy stuff. So I think it's important to have an understanding of, like Jack said, if there's an altercation between players and fans, I would say even 10 out of 10 times it's going to be because a player's not just going to start shit with the fans.
Nah, not at all.
Like, we have much more important things during the game to do. You know what I mean? So I'm saying 10 out of 10 times it's the fan, doing something crazy to the player, and the player reacts.
Or being too disrespectful.
Yeah, so I'm glad they're tightening up on it. Like I said, I'm all for a home court advantage and great rowdy fans and crazy fans and screaming, but let's not be disrespectful with what you're doing, because like I said, you wouldn't do it to our face off the court.
Right.
Do you guys, I'm sure you notice it, but do players talk about the racial element? I mean, think about it, right? It's a not majority black league, but you look in the stands, not majority black people.
Nah, not us. I mean,
Yeah, I did never
I,
think
you know
that
one
way.
thing, like, we different. Like, I've never walked in one locker room in my NBA career and thought race one time. I felt that way with one coach, Scott Skiles, but I've never felt that with any teammate or any other organization. I think once you're in that locker room, especially, the teammate I am, when you first meet me, I'm an open book. You know what I'm saying? I'm open to every teammate. So that's a race. I never even thought about that in the NBA.
I think basketball brings the world together, to be honest with you.
I never thought
You know
about
what I mean? It's such a globalized game now that we're bringing so many different races and ethnicities into this sport and bringing the same fans with them. You know what I mean? So I've never, looked in the stands and thought, damn, this is a lot of white people at all. Like I said, I've looked in the fans in Utah and said, damn, there's a section of white people, they're being extra racist. But outside of that, it's like, we love the fans. The teams are although the league is majority black, that you see, there's whites and there's a lot of Europeans now, and there's China's had an effect on the game, and
French.
might be some, a Mexican or two in the NBA. So the world is very well represented when it comes to basketball. So race doesn't really play a part in it.
All right, on the court. Injuries off. Both of you, top 5 players in the league right now. No injuries.
Top 5, Bron, Kawhi, AD, Greek Freak, James Harden.
No KD.
Wow.
KD's not playing right now.
No,
I'm saying
no
if there were no injuries.
KD, Bron, AD, Kawhi. KD, Bron, AD, Kawhi, Greek Freak.
I got KD, Kawhi, LeBron, AD, Steph.
Interesting. No Steph for you.
Not my top 5, in my top 10.
Remember when Steph first made his ascent and started rising in the league?
We were teammates, weren't you?
Yep, I was there when he got drafted.
There was a lot of pushback from a lot of guys in the league. What do you think all that was sort of jealousy?
That's just not knowing what he was going to be. He coming from Davidson, nobody really know, you know what I mean? Nobody knew he was going to be what he is today. Like, even me, when they drafted him, I didn't have a problem with him, but I was at an age where I couldn't be on a rebuilding team. I needed to be somewhere where that's going to the playoffs right now. So it had nothing to do with Steph, and I was a fool. I should have stayed. I should have stayed and watched that kid grow and benefited from it. I should have stayed. I'm a real one. I'll admit it.
Well, I think, Steph took the game by storm once he got going and changed the modern day game. He's changed basketball. He and his teammates, along with Clay and the organization, because you used to, live by the 3-point, die by the 3-point, and people in the history of the NBA have died by the 3-point ball.
They thrive on that.
There's never been a team that shot the ball from, in volume, such as Steph and his teammates, and that have been successful in the league. And they've been able to do that, and I think possibly the fact that he was, his dad played in the league, and then, he's the clean,
he's light skin.
The light skin, but the clean cut, poster boy, no tattoos, solid family background, and I'm sure people had a problem with that.
Does that make guys jealous though? Because they're like, man, I wish I grew up like that.
I wouldn't say jealous, but I would think it would just make people, fuck this dude. You know what I mean? Let's go check it. Let's go see how tough he really is, or see what he's about. So I think that was kind of some of the pushback. But once he started proving himself, you could be mad all you want, but that's a bad motherfucker.
But in the basketball world, everybody loved his dad. His dad was one of those guys everybody was cool with. So we knew he'll be this same kind of person.
Couple quicks before we get out of here. Toughest cover ever in the league for you?
Kobe.
Who would be a tougher cover, Kobe or KD?
Kobe.
Still?
Kobe.
Okay.
You can't get physical with Kobe.
Okay. He's too smart.
Okay. Who's winning the finals this year? Who's going to the finals?
Going to the finals, Lakers and Milwaukee.
Wow, Milwaukee.
No, excuse me, Clippers and Milwaukee.
Okay.
Clippers win.
You trust?
Oh, you flipped on us, huh? You flipped on us?
No, I wrote Clippers on the thing.
Nope. You roll
You
Lakers.
said it on the show.
I said it.
Yeah, you said I said Clippers.
No, you said Lakers.
I have Lakers winning it.
That's what he just asked.
So that means you
have the
trusting Chris
Lakers.
Middleton.
You have the Lakers and the Bucks in the finals.
I have
He's a Clippers
no, I
box.
have the Lakers and Clippers in the
Western
West Conference Finals.
Who wins that?
Lakers.
Okay, so then you have the Lakers and Milwaukee in the
yes, I
finals.
said it right.
And who wins?
Lakers.
See, you just said something different.
Oh, my bad.
I got
I got the question wrong.
So
my bad.
good.
Chris Middleton, though, you trust him as your number 2 on the title team?
No, I just
You're like, no, I don't.
trust Greek Freak.
Okay.
He got some more pieces around him now. I just think from the experience that he had last year, he focused on getting back to that championship. He ain't letting, and Kawhi's not there, so nothing to stop him.
Okay. What you got?
I think it'll be Clippers and Philly, and I think the Clippers will win.
I like it. All right, last one. Top 5 all time NBA.
Top 5 all time. 1, MJ. 2, Kobe. Wow. 3, LeBron. 4, Shaq. 5, Kareem.
It's amazing. This Kobe is like the dude for this generation. It's
Man,
incredible.
he bust your ass as many times as he bust our ass. He'll do that shit too. Shit. Kobe's the truth, man.
I got Mike, Kobe, LeBron, Shaq, Magic.
I like it. Stak.
So we got our first 4 the same.
You guys are right there. Appreciate y'all.
Man, anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you, for sure.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.